When you hear the name IKEA, you probably think of flat-pack furniture, giant warehouses, confusing instructions, and maybe a few leftover screws after assembling a bookshelf. But have you ever wondered why it's called IKEA? The answer is surprisingly simple. IKEA isn't a Swedish word. It isn't the name of a place. And it wasn't created by a marketing agency. IKEA is actually an acronym. The name comes from the initials of its founder, Ingvar Kamprad, combined with the names of the family farm and nearby village where he grew up, Elmtred and Gunneryd. Put them together and you get IKEA. That's it. But that simple four-letter name tells a much bigger story. Because IKEA didn't start as a furniture company at all. It started with a teenager selling whatever he could find to his neighbors. And the story of how those four letters became one of the most recognizable brands in the world is far more interesting than most people realize. To understand IKEA, we need to go back to rural Sweden in the 1930s. Ingvar Kamprad was born in 1926 and grew up on a farm called Elmtred near the village of Gunneryd in southern Sweden. Even as a child, Kamprad had a reputation for being unusually interested in business. He wasn't waiting until adulthood to become an entrepreneur. As a young boy, he bought matches in bulk and sold them individually for a profit. When that worked, he expanded. Soon he was selling pens, Christmas decorations, fish, seeds, greeting cards, and practically anything else he thought people might buy. He had discovered something important very early in life. People loved convenience, and he loved finding ways to provide it. By the time most teenagers were focused on school, Kamprad was already building the foundation of a business. In 1943, at just 17 years old, Kamprad officially registered a company. He needed a name. Rather than inventing something flashy, he simply combined the things most familiar to him. His initials, his family farm, his hometown, Ingvar Kamprad, Elmtred, Gunneryd. At the time, there was no grand branding strategy. The company wasn't even selling furniture. IKEA was essentially a mail-order business. Customers could order small household items through catalogs and have them delivered. The company sold pens, wallets, watches, picture frames, and various everyday products. Furniture wouldn't become the focus until several years later. But the name stuck, and that decision would prove remarkably valuable. After World War II, demand for affordable household goods began rising across Europe. Many families needed furniture. The problem was that good furniture was expensive. Kamprad noticed something. Furniture sales generated far more interest than many of the other products in his catalog. Customers wanted practical pieces at prices they could actually afford. So IKEA gradually shifted its attention toward furniture. The strategy worked. Sales grew rapidly, but success brought new challenges. IKEA's low prices were making traditional furniture retailers uncomfortable. Many competitors believed IKEA's discounts were unfair. Some suppliers faced pressure not to do business with the company. Others stopped working with IKEA altogether. For many businesses, this would have been disastrous. For Kamprad, it became an opportunity. If suppliers wouldn't cooperate, IKEA would find new ways to operate. That mindset eventually led to one of the most important innovations in retail history. The story goes that in the 1950s, an IKEA employee was preparing a table for transportation. To make it fit into a vehicle, the legs were removed. The idea seemed obvious. Furniture took up far less space when partially disassembled. Kamprad immediately saw the potential. Shipping costs could be reduced. Storage costs could be reduced. Customers could transport products more easily. And those savings could be passed on through lower prices. The flat-pack furniture model was born. Today, it seems completely normal. At the time, it was revolutionary. As IKEA expanded internationally, another challenge emerged. The company name was easy enough to remember. Product names were a different story. To keep things organized, IKEA developed its famous naming system. Beds, sofas, bookshelves, and countless other products received Scandinavian-inspired names. Some were based on Swedish towns. Others were based on lakes, rivers, occupations, or everyday words. The result was a shopping experience unlike anything else in retail. Even people who had never visited Sweden suddenly knew names like Billy, Pong, and Klippen, the brand developed a personality all its own. Looking back, it's easy to see why IKEA became such a powerful name. It's short, it's distinctive, it's easy to pronounce in many languages, and unlike names tied to a specific product, it allowed the company to grow without limitations. Most customers have no idea what the letters stand for, but that's part of the magic. The name became larger than its meaning. Today, when people hear IKEA, they don't think about a farm called Elmtrud or a village called Acronym. They think about affordable furniture, massive stores, Swedish meatballs, and weekend assembly projects. The Acronym has become one of the strongest retail brands in the world. So why is IKEA called IKEA? Because founder Ingvar Kamprad combined his initials with the names of the farm and village where he grew up. Ingvar Kamprad, Elmtrud, Acronym, a simple acronym created by a 17-year-old entrepreneur. What started as the name of a small mail-order business eventually became the name of the world's largest furniture retailer. Not bad for 4 letters inspired by a farm and a hometown. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel to get notifications for our new videos. Feel free to suggest other brands we should cover next in the comments below.